All right, what's going on, guys? This is Alex. I am going to be taking you quickly through how to look at somebody's diary, food diary, and get this information mixed with their body composition results into their macro calendar. So, this is a client that I've been working with for a little while. The first thing I want you to guys to take a look at, or want you guys to take a look at, this setup here with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then these snacks. Here's why we have them break them down into time frames, because I have no idea where she has this snack, no clue at all. Now, this particular client does a pretty terrible job of entering. She might enter once every 14 days. So that doesn't do me any good. But in our conversations, I have a pretty good idea of what her intake frequency looks like. So you can kind of see not very good at all. She also has it set up to do a meal delivery service. So she orders meals for lunch and dinner, and then they just focus on breakfast at home. So if you take a look, pretty routinely she under eats. You can see that number here around 1100. And this is why it's important to have the clients do their logging before we go in and make this information so we can see what some of the trends look like. So now that we've got this picture, right, she eats breakfast, lunch, dinner, one snack somewhere in there, usually pretty small. Totals around 1100. Now I want to take this information over to the macro calendar. So from here, now we've got box 1 and box 2. Box 1 just reminds me, if we're trying to gain weight, then the multiplier that goes here is higher. It's going to be closer to 18. If they're trying to lose weight, the multiplier is lower, closer to 12, and then we can use any number in between there in kind of a step method that we want to use to work somebody down. So this is where the 1100, all right, from here, what she's currently eating, this is where this number is coming in at. Okay, so at 1100, if I want her to lose weight, I can put 12 in here. Okay, her body fat percentage is currently 35.7, and her current weight is 206. So now that I've got that in there, I can see what the intake goal is, and that's actually 1500 calories. So even as a multiplier of 12, being nice and low, I'm still going to need her to eat more, and hopefully this will get her to lose weight. Now, I've got this stuff figured out. The next thing is I need to come down here and take a look at these macro splits. And as we go through this, there's a specific modification that I want to look at. If her option multiplier is less than 13, I want her carbs to be less than 100 grams, and her protein, we want it to be closer to 1.5 times her lean mass. So currently, we can look at her lean mass, and at 130, roughly, okay, what is that, 75, 65, 65 is half. So around 197, just under 200 grams of protein, theoretically, should be the goal. So as I look through this option 1, weight loss, I can see if I do 25% carbs, 35% fat, and 40% protein, we'll be pretty close to that number. So what I'm going to do is down here, we're going to go weight loss is the objective. All right, we stayed 25 in carbs, which will give us around 100 grams there. Let's do 30 in fat. Good, that's going to give us around 53 grams, and then we can do 45 in protein, which will give us around 178. I can look over here and make sure that my splits are even. I got 100 grams of carbs, 53 grams of fat, and 178 grams of protein. Now, that's a lot of protein, so we're going to have to do a really good job of strategizing on how she's going to consume that, but if we eat high protein, high fat meals like fish, that's really going to help her get there fast. All right, cool. So once we've got this info all kicked in, the next thing we're going to do is click over to the client sheet. Client sheet will carry over the majority of the information. The only thing I need to do is type in their name up here. And then once I have that, the only little bit of work that I need to do now is just reflecting back on frequency. So I know she eats breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then she has a snack. Just kind of looking at her averages, right? Dinner and lunch are going to be usually around the same, and breakfast is a little bit lighter. So I'm going to try to reflect that here just to start out in the very beginning. The hope is that if we eat cleaner and that we're eating a better balance of food, that we're going to be able to see some positive changes without really doing too much. So what I would say then is I'll change this to maybe more like 20% of her overall intake for the day is going to be breakfast. We'll have a snack here in the middle of the day, let's say around 10%. We'll try that, see what that number looks like. And then we'll get rid of this snack here. and then lunch and dinner. So at 90, I've still got some room to move. So we could even do 30% here. Maybe we do 35% there because lunch was just a little bit larger typically. And we still got 5%, so I'm going to put it back into the snack. All right, so now if we take a look across the board at 100%, everything is good. We've got all of our meals taken care of. Calories 300, 200, 500 for lunch, and then 476 for dinner. These are both respectable numbers for lunch and dinner, especially if she works out early in the morning. We take a look. Macros look all good. All right, no questions about this. I'm happy with the sheet. The splits look all right, and the calorie target is 1,500. It's again a reasonable number. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So this is her exercise. I'll print this sheet out, give it to her, and then if she wants, then I will have her go through and write out what a perfect day would look like for breakfast to hit these numbers. Same thing for this snack, depending on where it lands throughout the day. Same thing with lunch. What would be a perfect mix, and then same thing with dinner. And then she can bring it back to me and we can have a conversation, or she can start entering things into her MyFitPal, and then from here we can kind of talk about what's good, what's bad, make some adjustments from there. But otherwise, that's the basic concept with the weight loss client. All right, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to help you out. Thank you.